potentially locking second place or getting very close to doing just that. So yeah, we'll see. I think opening out for Fnatic, removing away the Annie, we see a lot of that very commonly, and I think Rezok as well has lent a lot on the Wukong, and they are currently, Australia's just layering in the bans immediately for them.
Just targeting everything. I wonder if Xayah will be open because it's such a staple pick for Kobe and Reckless. I think in the case where it is open, Blueside will definitely first pick it. I think that the champion pool in the jungle doesn't have the same level of crossover. They're just targeting everything.
Yeah. Do you think with with 3 jungle bans, surely you have to immediately go for something, right? Like 4 technically, because Fnatic took away the Elise, the Rakan's the final one. I would expect 1-1-3's Viego eventually, but like you mentioned, the Xayah is just too powerful to give up with all of these engaged junglers off the board.
There's Viego. I know that 1-1-3 last split also played some Trundle into the Sejuani. Oh, I love the Jinx lock-in. Ignore the Caitlyn, just lock in the Jinx. I think this is the way, this is the identity I like for Reckless. Super good to counter-pick Super as well. I'm curious how Younghoon is going to approach this one.
But I do like that you mentioned the Trundle though, because now I feel like you've got Sejuani, the one, you know, the good one-to-one matchup, but also an immobile lady carry. That's the kind of lane which you could very easily go something like Thresh here, deny it away actually from Advienne and Fnatic. Thresh plus the Trundle, all of a sudden you've got setup from the Thresh and the immobile punish with the pillar. It could actually be a bit disastrous for Fnatic to pilot in the early stages, but 1-1-3 is going to pivot over towards the Maokai, which says to me perhaps they're going to look a little bit more towards the team fighting aspect of things with a champion like that.
Okay, the Jax lock-in, the denial against Oscarinin. I wonder now if he's going to match us with a Bruiser, because I wonder if he wants to play the Olaf into Jax matchup. It's good into Maokai, good synergy with Sejuani. Maybe this is a moment where Oscarinin is going to, you know, really put everything to the test here on the top side. I just wanted to just make sure, I think it's good and positive to make sure that you leave your super pick to last, to make sure that Advienne can lock in maybe a Braum, a Nautilus, a Leona, just keep him as comfortable as possible. I like the Jace.
Yeah, I like the Jace too. I think now for Fnatic, you're probably going to see like Irelia plus. I don't think they necessarily need to ban Zed, but at the very least, I think they'll remove Irelia off the table just to not have to deal with it in the mid lane. We've seen how Leader can navigate this matchup once, and obviously Jace a lot stronger in lane against the Jax, so you'd expect it to go up there, but just for the potential of maybe needing to shift that Jace down to the mid lane, we could see that. But Fnatic, interesting enough, self-banning the Braum. I'm not sure what the read is here, Yamao, if you got any...
I think the angle here is they're going to follow up this Braum ban with a Renata ban, and I think the idea is that they're going to fourth pick the Nautilus. They want to keep the Jace flex till 5th to just keep their options open and maybe invite Leader to over-index on counting the Jace, send the Jace into Jax, and then find an even better pick maybe in the LB on 5.
I'm so excited to see if you're right.
No, I like the read.
I can barely contain myself.
I like the read. I think it makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Hold on to the Jace flex.
Oh.
And then maybe make Leader a little bit uncomfortable, but I feel like he's happily blind picked a good couple of times. Though he is, I will say, it almost feels like a bit of a draft win, almost like you defang him a bit if you force him to blind.
Yeah. But he also doesn't mind it.
But he also doesn't seem to care that much at all. Last ban, I guess it's going to be another top. Here towards
frowning.
So I'm thinking still, the Leona is still kind of decent into Nautilus. I believe the Nautilus on 4 is going to come in, and I'm just trying to think, okay, Nautilus is out.
They had the same read as you.
Then at this point, do you just blind the Renata, or do you feel like it's potentially still a little bit unsafe with something like the Thresh up?
It's like blind picking the Renata, you can then slam maybe a Soraka in the mix, you can play Lulu bot, like all of a sudden opens up a wide range of champions. Alright, the Thresh. Okay, that's very interesting.
Interesting good or interesting bad?
I think interesting good.
Okay.
I think it synergizes well with Jinx, and just the fact that you maintain mid lane pick open for 5th with LB in the picture, I think is really, really good.
I think also when you take a step back and realize that what supports are gone, realistically Thresh has a pretty good matchup into most of them that are still available in the lane, so I feel like just giving that safety net over to Reckless, this is one of the few supports that does pretty well into the Thresh, so I'm very excited to see what Jonghu's going to do with the Blitzcrank. He always just kind of makes or breaks games, right? You're either missing every hook or you're hitting everything and you're solo winning, so now the bot lane gets even more explosive with that pick down there, and that's all about what Leader wants to blind pick in towards the mid lane, and whether or not he does index or over index perhaps into the mid lane mage. I said, will he get the trifecta in? I feel like it's just a hover for fun. It's gonna be Zed blind.
It's gonna be Zed blind. Okay.
I did win with
this. Could be a Sylas angle. Sylas looks insanely dangerous. Can lane into Zed. Has great ultimates with the Blitzcrank and the Maokai. Good synergy with the Sejuani. LB works too. Very safe. These are some humanoid classics. Fnatic, really, they've really stepped out their drafting game in the last 5 games they've played. I really like what I'm seeing here. But the usual recipe for Astralis with a very strong early game with the Blitz.
What do you say, or would you care to elaborate? You feel like they've really spiced up their drafting overall the last 4 games?
I feel like they've recognized the strengths of their players and they haven't overcomplicated it. Just Jace, the carries in the top side, Razor with the usual jungle meta, and Humanoid make sure that he's playing LB, Talia, Azit, this is what he's good at. And I think additionally the bot side, no more Kate, Lux, no more Lulu, Zeri, just play the melee supports, the supports that can take space and give Reckless the classic champions that he can eventually get to the point where he carries.
Strong mixture as well of pick, but also being able to team fight in the mid game, I think, is the crucial thing for Fnatic. So they can definitely match the early stages, some of the early pressure that Astralis have certainly drafted for themselves, but I feel like if it gets to the straight up 5v5s, as long as Reckless is protected very well, which I expect, you know, Advian's going to be sitting on top of him, Lantern, Exhaust to ensure leader never gets the assassination attempts. I think Fnatic are looking pretty good here.
Fnatic looking pretty good here. That's not something we heard a couple of weeks ago, but it has to be said. They won 4 in a row now and are 4-4, already locked into the group stage, both them and Astralis, but they're still going to want to give us a show and prepare them adequately for the group stage. Time for Fnatic versus Astralis. Good job, guys.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen and everybody else, welcome to the Castades. I am still Quickshot, he is still Goldborg, and as Astralis are setting up some early shenanigans. GB, what do you make of the compositions, and for me specifically, explosive mid lane? The AD talked about it, that's what we've got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I was thinking as soon as I saw this set versus LeBlanc, this is like Season 3, this is Season 4. Actually, do you even know when the last time this was played?
Checking. The last time Zed and LeBlanc played was in spring 2020 for 2 formerly fantastic mid laners, Perks and Febivin, and it was obviously G2 versus Misfits. The LeBlanc won that game, so it's been nearly 3 years since those 2 champions have faced off.
Yeah, and also just to take it over to the support, because that's always where I would look. When I see a Thresh come in, and I'm the support that's picking into it, that's where you just say, I'm going to ego and I'm going to play Blitzcrank instead. Matchup is slightly favored as well into the Blitzcrank. You get a hook on Blitzcrank, Thresh pretty much dies. That's also why Advian in this instance has gone for that Aftershock. He gets to be more aggressive. You go for Glacial here, there's not much you can do in it.
Can you remind me, was it Aframu that called Thresh into Blitz? Was it Hook City?
Could be Hook
Tweet
City.
at me, I can't remember. I think it was Hook City. That's a slightly older one. I don't remember exactly. But what I will say is for Jonghoon, this is his only 3rd ever Blitzcrank game. He has 2 previous games played in Crit. Do you want to know how they went?
Yeah, go on.
They were losses. It did not go well.
Okay, so we have a LeBlanc on one side that won the set versus LeBlanc last time.
Yes.
And we have Jonghoon who's only lost on the Blitzcrank so
That's
far. Is that
correct.
what you're setting up here?
That is
All
correct.
right, let's call it, Joe. Let's go home.
We're going to find out what happens as Jonghoon and Kabi, we push back immediately on this first wave. Thresh stepping forward. While that's going on, Humanoid is pushing into leader Zed in the first attempted gank.
It's only level 1.
The Meowkai. Level 2 stepping forward. That's the flash, the root, the Bramble smash back. Oscarin is down to 100. The hammer goes away, 14 HP. He flashes and stays alive.
Oh, he gets the level 2 because he had to push on the wave, so Finn never got to get his and did knock away on Finn there from Oscar was crucial. Wave side, quite ideal now for Finn here, but Oscar does have that teleport. He's going to TP to the turret. He's going to try and push it in, and Finn then, when he gets his own TP that he has right now, he's just going to get that up towards the top side again.
If there were any champion that could sort of break a hold or a freeze a little bit effectively, those accelerated shock blasts can get to the back line, can help speed up resetting the state of that lane.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, on the top side, not a lot of cams has been cleared for 113, and he's not even going to stay here. He's going to not even take his blue buff. He's going to take a page out of the Malrung book, make his way down towards that bottom side instead. You do have Flash as well on Blitzcrank leader.
Oh, the Ethereal Chains come out. Humanoids will run out of cooldowns though, and will be forced to go backwards. So a lot of trading in the mid lane. Leader's still got the Flash available to him. He also has that Living Shadow as another potential escape tool. While that's going on, look, all 3 lanes are pushing in favor of Fnatic, but that is opening up opportunities for the Nyan Cat to look for targets. The distortions on cooldown, Leader won't be able to find the opportunity. Instead, just help shove this way.
Yeah, that's the thing. 113 is just going to look for the shove up here. They should see that he hasn't picked up the blue buff yet. I think Razok does that, so he's going to move his way up towards the Scuttle Crab. He still have the mid lane priority. Finn looking at Oscar.
Hit him with the hammer, hit him with the hammer. Finn down to 200, 150 HP. Now Humanoid's the next target. Passive will proc, and Humanoid's able to escape.
Kill the clone, you get XP.
Razork's going top. Minion, shoot it, shoot it.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay.
Ultimate fail. That means the Astralis will lose. That's what that means, right?
Go on. You're really foreshadowing here. Now, on the top side of the map, Razork's still around, haven't cleared out. Trying to look for 113, quite accidentally. Could just find him here, and he does.
All right, Razork will get caught out by that
So I can move
sapling.
for mid here. There's no flash on 113.
Oscar's the first one to move. Humanoid's coming through the river as well. He's being chased by Leader, who just teleported back. Finn goes forward. Mercurial Hammer backwards to the skies! And Fnatic get first blood. It's Razork with a double. Leader will throw out that Shadow Slash and pick himself up one in return. 2 for 1. Red
He's
buff
no flash
ticking.
now.
Permafrost available. Hit him with the flail. Smack him with the ball. And Humanoid gets the third for Fnatic.
They get one on Leader, 3 kills on Fnatic though. That's an incredible, ideal scenario for you here on the top side. 113 still so behind in the jungle. He's clear on the top side. Hasn't come through. Finn lost so many minions on that roam. And while there's a lot of minions pushing in now into Oscar, he's going to be there to collect them all. So he's a level behind right now, but it won't stay like this for long.
It won't. I mean, that's a gigantic advantage. Depending on how effectively Oscar can
Yeah,
farm
but
up,
level 4.
gets the cannon, leap forward, drops the hammer down. Keep an eye on the minimap. Jonghoon has left the bottom lane, and he's in the river. 113's here too, sapling
not.
forward. The evade comes forward, thumbs up aplenty, and Oscar's
Oh, wow.
dropped by Finn. Tower aggro's traded from that twisted advance, and that was a beautiful dive.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge because you remember that minion wave we just talked about. Oscar doesn't actually get to collect it now. 5 levels on Finn, 4 to Oscar. So that's a huge advantage for Astralis in that top side. Response comes through on the bot side instead. Razork is around.
Copy.
2 versus 3.
He's got that flash in the cleanse, maybe needing it. Power Fist from Jonghoon available. Minions are being cleared out. Looking for the rocket grab. I'm going to hold on to it for now. I didn't see if it was used just a little bit earlier. If the real chain's thrown out, Gullborg, we're not going to have a lot of time to talk because these teams are just throwing down in every single lane. But it's Fnatic that are up 1,200 golds.
Yeah, and Leader is going to be under a lot of trouble in a bit. Humanoid hit level 6 on this wave. If no one is around to back up Leader when that happens, he's just going to get killed. And he knows that, so he's going to have to forfeit another wave. Humanoid with that one lead he got with the kill, taking over the mid lane now on the map.
And very nicely done. So, take a brief moment here. I just want to quickly talk about Oscar before any further shenanigans break out. Weeks 1, 2, and 3 couldn't have been more different. Thanks to Medic for pointing these numbers out to me on Twitter. I straight up stole them. But week 1, 0-18-4, 10-13-23, 16-3-12. Oscar is showing true development and comfort here as the games and the weeks have played out. And I think it was the Jace was the first game that you really stopped and went, huh, this kid can actually play. And now he needs to step up. He's still down just a little.
Yeah, let's see if you just cast a Kirsten for real here.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I don't have that power.
Oh.
It's twisted advance forward. Razork is level 5. You can look for that Arctic Assault. No flash for 113. Leader's making his way. He's also only level 5 and
So are the
Humanoid.
supports.
Blast cones over. Level 6 for Humanoid. Level 6 for Humanoid. Distorts forward. Chains out. Mimics up in 4 seconds time.
Oh.
The Blitzcrank rocket grab over the wall. Helps Astralis pick up the kill for Finn.
Yeah, we just called it. Supports were moving as well, but because they were fighting on the left side of that river, it was easier for Jonghoon to get there before before at the end would rather. And down towards the bot side, AD carry is just going to be farming, but that's going to be a little bit of gold back into the pocket of Astralis, trying to get back at a neutralized state of that gold.
Listen, when did we move to Australia? Because yesterday the game's all about the bottom lane. Today, our opening 2 games have all been about the top half of the
It's
map.
all upside down, isn't it?
Completely. Reckless and Cobby, this feels like the first time we've seen them this game. They're dead even on CS. Their respective supports have been roaming.
What year is this?
Exactly.
Okay, we have Set versus Ablong. With 80 carries just chilling on the bot side. We're playing up towards the top side. It's very nostalgic.
Very nostalgic indeed. I feel so comfortable right now. And the question is, where will the action come from? Because over the course of 8 minutes, we've seen multiple skirmishes. And look, Humanoid shoved that mid wave, at least stepped into the river to set some vision up. Herald will be starting soon. And Jonghoon's on the step forward. Death Sentence connects. Cobby cleanses away. Rocket grab into a fist in the face. Advients drop low. 200, 100. Tick, tick. Feathers fly. Flash forward from
Oh my
Cobby.
Lord,
Roots Reckless. The double kill for Cobby.
Oh, and he just sets it up there. Junghoon's just there to get a little finesse with the hook, but it's Copper setting it all up afterwards, finding the flash. Reckless did have that flash himself, but just didn't have the reaction time to actually get out of sight of those feathers.
I mean, beautifully done as we watch this replay here. I'm expecting some fancy stuff from our observers.
Yeah, so initially, great hook. Aftershock is procced on at the end. It's not going to last for long. It's going to take some time before he flashes. And Cobby now with the ultimate, setting it up there.
Oh.
Reckless still has his, so he needs to time it. But the problem is, Doesn't get down in time. Oh, it's from every angle. There's nothing for him to do. Oh my lord. Okay, he could still have flashed it, but it looked insane.
That was just beautiful. I mean, that actually almost looked like an Aurelia ultimate. Like Vanguard's edge in terms of the abilities thrown out. Really nicely done for Observers. Even better done from Copy. The thing is, Fnatic are still ahead. The advantages they've accrued in the top half of the map, the 20 CS and kill for Humanoid puts him as a team ahead, but it is a 1,000 gold lead for Copy on the Xayah. And right now, he's going to be called to the fight. Jonghoon, where's the Q? Finn, Leap, E, drops the Grandmaster's Might, empowers, and waiting for the next Q. Down the bottom lane, the shenanigans don't go anywhere as both sides have been able to back away. Although, Razork is level 6.
Yeah, complete Vivra control right now, but Kobe, they just need to not step up. Good block there from Jonghoon.
Resin already going to get the flash. The rocket grab backwards.
He pickboarded.
Battle ball. He can't get onto it, but he doesn't need it. Razork starting to use that empowered recall. Escapes with his life, and he does. Nyan Cat. Where does the root land? One already secured. Rocket grab maybe up in a little bit here. Comes leader. That's Advien. He's been caught. Berlin goes wild. The knockback from the smash as well. And it will be Jonghoon that picks up the kill, but now Reckless is looking to get excited. Here comes Humanoid. Deathmark is thrown down, and leader will just about be popped. Now Reckless running a little low on mana. Fishbones still hungry. Waiting for Pow Pow. 1-1-3. Thumbs up in the air. Q goes up for the distortion. Can't find the sigil to follow it up just yet, and Humanoid still hunting.
Yeah, just need one more. Can dash forward, get the Q down, that's it.
6 kills to Fnatic, 6 kills to Astralis. The farm advantage keeps Fnatic nearly 2,000 gold up.
Yeah, and we're used to seeing this kind of bloodiness from the likes of Astralis, but it's very new to us from Fnatic. There's a very real reason to get excited about this team now. Riftel is used on the bottom side, leader down here to defend, but plating will go over to Razork. Oh, Jonghoon.
Oh, what's happening next year? Razork, no ultimate available to him. We keep holding our breath.
I know.
Haven't had a chance to really dive into the numbers yet.
And the fact is, there's so many things I've been wanting to talk about. There's the Dragon setup, there's an interaction between Seth and LeBlanc specifically. For now, let's just look at a replay once again. Advien doing what he's supposed to do, block that cat from your AD carry. Jonghoon is getting the hook, and you can see on the minimap right now, Humanoid's already making his way down here, so while the play gets extended, it's just the fact that you can get the excited going for Reckless, making sure all the HP bars are so low for Humanoid to be able to clean up when he finally comes around.
Deathmark was dropped for a little bit of time. Didn't ultimately end up being valuable in leader. No flash, no ultimate, no teammates, no support. All right, Living Shadows forwards, waiting for that to time out, and we'll just about be propped. Pretty easy kill there, just sticking around for the plates. Reminder, the draw show will play at the end of today's games. Fnatic right now in a strong position, strong lead, but we haven't got a chance to breathe because look, 1-1-3 is now invading the top half. Backup coming from Jonghoon, but Fnatic are ready. Teleport's available for Humanoid, so if a fight breaks out, he can jump in.
Yeah, most certainly can. And you can see Advin is even here to shadow just to make sure if the dice comes through, he's got that lantern ready. Both supports have been very active on the map. TP comes through, 1-1-3 here as well. They decide to abandon the play.
Oh, Nature's Grasp was thrown down. The rest of the teams are starting to conglomerate. The chains won't find a target, but the rocket grab will. Humanoid's passive is popped. Lantern goes forward. Razork throws out the prism, waiting for the first target to fall. And it will be Humanoid picking up the kill to Jonghoon. Astralis are running for their lives. The chain just goes wide, but the shot blast doesn't. Oscar with the headshot, and Advien with the third.
Yeah, you can see Astralis, they wanted to look for a fight with the feathers there for Carpet, but Fnatic, they're just finding the better fights here. They get another fight in their favor.
5-0-1 for Humanoids LeBlanc. It was the last pick. It was into the Z. The analyst has talked about the explosive matchup, and it's Humanoid that is running away with this early game.
Honestly, this is full death ball. Not a single team has taken Drake. It's all about finding leads with the kills. What did we say yesterday? Doesn't matter if you get the objectives, if you can just kill all the enemies afterwards. Well, both teams are going for that approach in this instant. Initially, they're trying to layer this CC down on Humanoid, and it does work until the Lantern finally comes out. Leader crucially died earlier, so he's only coming out of base, so Astralis is fighting a 4 versus 5, and you can see they're layering up here, so Cop is looking for the feathers, while he dashes out with the Gale Force. Oscar finds the accelerated shock blast, and Advien's hooks afterwards.
I mean, Fnatic just seemed to be on the same page. For a team that went 0-4 to now be 4-0, looking to end the
Five-game
season
win
on a 5-game. When was the last time Fnatic lost a game? Don't actually answer that. I know it's 2 weeks ago. Irrelevant. Right now, though, Finn is continuing to push forward. 30 CS difference and a 500 gold lead. You can see the standings on your screen. I will get to that in a second.
Well, you get caught by it just about.
Producer's a little excited for me because we haven't got a chance to breathe. I can't even build on the stakes as now Oscar's got backup. Flash forward.
Oh, that's great predict.
Connects. The kitty cat's going down right now as Reckless picks up the kill.
It's just the same story the entire game. Astralis looking for a play on the top side. Fnatic being there to defend it and thus outplaying it. Now members of Astralis are still fishing, seeing if Reckless and Advian wants to overstep. No one bites, and down towards the bot side, Humanoid picks up the turret.
Cool, boy, do give me a second here. I do want to follow what the producers were saying. First of all, when we look at the standings, a few things to call out. Team BDS are locked in first. If Team Astralis win this game, they will lock in the second seed. However, it's looking very unlikely. The thing that's the most interesting for me is, if Fnatic use this lead to win the game, they could make top 4. There are scenarios in which they make top 4.
I mean, the scriptwriters went crazy this year, didn't they?
They did. Do you want to know how they get to top 4?
Go for it. Go for it.
If you want to find out how they get to top 4, you can head to lec.gg/foldysheet to figure it out. Ooh,
Reckless almost got folded there by that hook as well. But it is just going to be the first Drake of the game, Trevor. 15 minutes into the game, finally taking here. So the Drake stacking will take some time. Looking at roughly 30 minutes before we're looking at a Soul, which of course would be quite late into the game.
And I don't think either of these teams want to win via Soul. At least how the 15 minutes of gameplay is.
I mean, if Astralis can come back to do it, they probably would like it, but yeah.
Let me put it this way. Their priority would be to win via kills, I think is the inclination that we're getting right now. And I think once we do get the scoreboard back up, I want to look at this gold lead and where it is accrued for the respective players, because Mythics across the board you have for members of Fnatic. 1 tower to the name. I mean, look, 400 gold in the top lane, 1600 in the jungle and mid. And I think for Humanoid, the fact that he's got that Ludens and the fact that there's a number of squishier targets, if he can use vision and find those flank opportunities, this LeBlanc can really take over the game, or at least get enough damage down for Jinx and Jace to clean up.
Yeah, just looking at the CS from a different of the laners now, I'm always so impressed with Leader, how he's able to keep up, because Humanoid has been super solid. Finn, on the other hand, roughly 30 CS behind his matchup, and that's even after he got all the help from 113. So Oscar been doing a phenomenal job up here, soaking the pressure, waiting for his team to be reliable. And we're in a different scenario. Last game, no one could respond to Adam in a side lane. This game, it's going to be Humanoid on LeBlanc.
And what I really liked, while Humanoid was sieging that bottom inner turrets, there was a number of Fnatic wards in that western quadrant. You can see around the blue buff area of Astralis. Multiple members of Astralis were showing under the towers. So while it looked a little risky for Humanoid to be like poking under tower, he had the information. He knew where his opponents were.
Yep.
And at the same time, that Oscar and Jace in the top lane with the arcane buff, thanks to Jinx and Jace in the same game, they're working to take their second tower and extend that lead even further.
Oh, you really went for that one, but it's also...
Have you heard of Arcane?
Shut up.
The Emmy Award-winning anime on Netflix? You should check it out if you haven't. I'm not a sellout, I swear.
Yep, all right. Now, top side of the map, you can even see that the entire vision that they had there while you keep talking to them. I'm just going to say, like, Fnatic is actually so good at playing towards the side lanes. Oscar had the vision he needed to actually push up here, but even down towards the bottom half, Humanoid, fully alone, barely any vision, was the one pressuring that tier 2, and he can do that because he's LeBlanc. So we're actually looking at an 1-3-1 composition, which we haven't seen so often, but now Razork might get caught off guard here, trying to get to the wall, but it's warded on top with a blue trinket, so no one can get to him, and Razork goes down.
I mean, those lanterns have been instantly blocked. I will give you an update. I had an inkling as well as you did. The latest first dragon of spring, this game was just over 15 minutes.
Yep.
The previous record was 11 and a half.
Oh, right. So it was quite late.
A lot later. We didn't really get a chance to set it up just because of how much action. 18 kills, 18 minutes. Razork was caught out, but it is still a 4,000 gold difference. I think the thing I want to look at is this next dragon fight. 2 minutes to go. River vision established, and the tower advantage to Fnatic. It does mean that they will have a slightly safer time setting it up and moving into the river because they can't fall back to those objectives.
Oh yeah, and also so easy for them to just pressure here. You can face check with Razork. Even if a member gets caught off guard, you have the Lantern and at the end. Humanoid so difficult to get to. You can even bait into Twisted Advance by Wing forward and Wing back then to bring the Maokai into your team. making it a super easy way to get a reset of the Jinx passive. And now Humanoid, how much damage is 1Q just going to do? That's almost 1/4 of Kobe HP.
I mean, gigantic damage already. There's a reason it's called the Sigil of Malice. It is causing malice to Astralis. Death Sentence to Rocket Grab. Woo! Rocket Grab just goes a little wide of Humanoid. Now Advien's on the hunt. Death Sentence onto Maokai. Hops over the wall with the Lantern. Razork will get his Glacial Prison in just a second. Finds the bird. Kobe will cleanse away from it. The knock up into the air, and Razork's running for his life. Those feathers are all at the choke point. Kobe can do so much with it. He's been exhausted, waiting to call the blades backwards, and it's a trade of kills. 1 for 2 in favor of Astralis.
Yeah, that was so messy. I barely had any clue what was happening because they just kept standing there hitting each other. But as you said, Copper untouched in the back line. They get the 2 kills, and they might get the mid lane turret at the end of that skirmish.
If we get the replay and it does slow down a little, can you keep an eye on Kobe's timing? I think he held his E until the exhaust wore out, from at least how I saw that live.
So the feathers gets used in the beginning initially as well, so you get a lot of the damage coming out here. He's stacking it up, stacking it up, stacking it up. Still waiting for it.
Still waiting to pull back, yeah.
Incredibly fit. And I think after here is where the first feather comes out.
Right, so they're on cooldown then, okay.
Yeah, okay, so that's why it's on cooldown. So yes, he does get exhausted. It looks like he holds it, but he's still waiting for it. Still 4 seconds on the feather. Now exhausted, cooldown, 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 exhaust goes off, and the feathers are finally there.
Yes, that was so good. Also, huge kudos to the observers. They actually turned on the feathers based on the commentary, or like showing their champion portraits, not something we normally do. I freaking love you guys. Of course, Kobe loves those feathers, so they get that fight. They are now still trailing Fnatic, and the Dragon is the next objective.
Good boy. Needs to be careful.
The rocket grab into the static field, and the cats. Astralis are not done. They want that top 2.
And that's so huge before a fight as well. You saw there is different places that he could actually go there from the distortion. You have the W and you have the ultimate of it. But it's just Junghoon immediately calling where he's going to go. They get the shutdown, 500 coins in the bag of leader, and they can now stack up the Drake for themselves. They do have to be careful though. Baron is up and available, just spawned 40 seconds ago, and Astralis, the only vision they have around it is in the pixel bush.
Now that gold lead that was built up, I don't think matters quite as much. We've seen the burst damage Leader Zed and Kobe's Xayah have under their belt. Both of these teams playing sort of like restrictions off in many ways. They're both locked into group stage. They're both in comfortable-ish positions. And we're just seeing an all-out brawl. Hex Flash over the wall. Oscar in. He's going to be forced to flash away, but he respected that hook.
Junghoon has been very precise with his rocket grabs, and you can even see it. Oscar in it, not going to risk it, just flashing it once you see that it has the right direction. But still, push out, come out on top lane, vision control around the Baron area, very much in the favor of Fnatic right now, and once Humanoids start putting pressure on the bot side, he has that teleport. So if Fnatic wants to look for skirmishes, see if they want to use any TP flanks here to bait Astralis in on the top side and turn on them, they have the potential set up for it.
So the question I'm going to ask you to think about...
it's already there, it comes through.
As we see a leader being targeted, but look at the minimap. Multiple members of Astralis coming forward. Leader, he's flashed forward. He's death marked. Living Shadow out. He's now got in range of the team. The Nyan Cats are thrown down. The Glacial Prison buys some time. The teleport in from behind, and Finn's using the E to do so much work. 113 caught by the Death Sentence, but Razork will be the next target. Oscar is taken. Astralis.
Oh, that's a hook again.
Decimating Fnatic. Junghoon with the rocket grab to turn around, and now they want the Baron.
And the entire pressure there looked like it was a play that was set up for Fnatic's success, but Astralis, they're turning it around immediately. They pick up the fight, they pick up the skirmish, and they will pick up that Baron.
And listen, there is a lot of intensity here from Gulborg and I, but we are matching the game. And I was going to ask you a question about scaling, about how these team comps do with 2 or 3 items, because that's where we're going. But at the moment with Baron, Astralis may have just arrested control.
Yeah, initially, there's just not CC enough here to lock leader down. Ultimate come out later in a Tome of Desperation, but that's where it's just hitting. Well, initially I thought it was going to be 113, but it is actually Junghoon. Finn came in with his flash, or TP, and then have eyes on Junghoon now. Look how he catches up Reckless around that ball in just a bit to make the fight even more extended there. Absolute beautiful, setting his AD carry up for success, and Advian, well, just honorably dying with his AD.
And I think Reckless had his flash available for that fight, got hooked out. I don't think it would have made a significant difference. Maybe could have been a nuisance in the Baron, but now the lead is gigantic. I will ask the question though, because I think when I look at Astralis' comp, when you see the mobility options, the Feather Storm, the Death Mark, the Living Shadow, Leader and Kobe have ways to dodge some of that burst damage.
So It's going to come down to the fact that there's a lot of pressure on Humanoid here as well, because you can't just traditionally front to back here, because when Cobb is this far ahead now, they're just going to win it. Humanoid needs to come in here, play the distortions, QW or QRE, see if you can poke him down, see if you can bait the ultimate, and then you kind of play, it's not necessarily a poke LeBlanc, but you're going in and out of the shadows just to get them further and further down. It's a playstyle that, for example, Showmaker has been incredible on, and Humanoid himself on the blind. But at this point in time, when you have Baron, when Astralis starts sieging up, when they start getting the control of the vision, that becomes really difficult.
I love you say Humanoid looking from the shadows, because he needs to step out to land those chains onto his targets, lock them down. Humanoid can control the perspective of the fights if he can use vision to his advantage, but he needs to strike from the darkness. He needs to surprise his enemies. And right now, the vision is just not in their favor.
Yeah.
I mean, pushed all the way back in a turret so down. I want to be a little cheeky and look at damage dealt this game. Cobby has just exploded. And Astralis, I want to remind you, if they win this game, they lock top 2. BDS #1, Astralis #2. What freaking world are we living in?
Honestly, feels like a fever dream. Can't lie. And now Astralis still with Baron, pushing in mid lane, leader down the bot side. So they're going to shift the pressure from mid lane down to bot in a bit, take care of this tier 2. And the reason for this is just so that members of Fnatic are occupied in the mid lane. They get the faster tempo. They can be on tier 2 first, and they can then take it down.
All right, tower's going to drop. This is the 6th of the game. The gold lead is now swung in favor of Astralis. They are up 4,000. They were down 5,000. Now they're up 4K. That is a 10,000 gold swing of control. Fnatic will at least get themselves that inner top turret. And I think that late first dragon could be contentious. However, again, both of these teams have shown they want to see hero, kill hero. That's how they want to win the game, right? It's not about the objectives.
So the objectives is like the bait. You put it out on the map, and the animals, they just come crawling for it, and that's just where they start fighting. So you can see that happen here again. Baron's going to fall off in a bit as well, but it is going to be there in time to just let Cobby push in this mid lane wave, get control of the Drake area. You can pick it up if you want to, or you can continue pushing in mid, use the pressure that Finn has on top side.
And 3 items completed for both Leader and Cobby, right? So Tiamat Cleaver, the Prowler's Claw, BT, as well as the Gale Force and the Quick Blades. So Reckless is a full item behind. I mean, he's 2,500 gold behind, so that is why. And that means that this dragon should be uncontested. I don't see Fnatic going through the darkness, stepping out of the vision, especially because they have to deal with the Blitzcrank hook as well. So the threat is too high.
Yeah, they see the reality for what it is right here. They understand that there is no way for them to actually venture out here. It's like Lion King. Don't touch where the light is currently not. And so Oscar now, seeing as they take Drake, can finally push in topside, buy them some extra time because it takes 1 extra wave that Fnatic or Astralis has to take care of. Actually, a lot of members of Fnatic right now.
So Finn's in trouble.
Towards the top side here.
Finn's been caught off. Flash available to him. TP available to him as well. That's literally 3 members immediately. 4 members coming soon. 5 as well. Distort forward. Ethereal Chain. Counter-Strike not enough for Finn. So that will be Fnatic getting some golf claps from Berlin. And I'm waiting to see if someone can pick. By the way, I missed the fact that Leader's in the bottom lane.
Yeah, no, Leader's still down towards the bottom lane, just going for that split push. But that was a really nice pickup from the side of Fnatic. Just dodging out on Vision to catch up on Finn, and no way to actually cross-map it. Leader didn't have to wait fully pushed in so he could actually take care of the turret, and this actually slows down the tempo of Astralis just a tidbit, which also means that now with Finn dead for 20 seconds, still 1 minute on the Baron, that's where Fnatic can try and leverage the fact that they have a man advantage to get some deeper vision.
So what is happening here? Fnatic looking to challenge this, but they might be walking into a trap. They might be walking into Astralis, who are waiting in the darkness. Nature's Grasp is available. Rocket Grab is available. Flash, Rocket Grab is sidestep nicely done. Death Set disconnects with Yongu, but he stays alive long enough to get away. The heal keeps him up. He's finally taken down. It is Resort that picks up the kill, but at what cost? The Battle Pig is down, followed by Advien. The feathers fly, and Cobby is blown up. Oscar Ridden obliterating Cobby on the front foot.
Humanoid's still going.
Humanoid's trying to find the target, needs the Hourglass to stay alive. Fish bones and the zap not enough. Oh, the shot blast does Fnatic win the fight 2-3.
He might have been a reliability in the first week, but Oscar now coming up clutch, being the backbone in this team fight. Beautifully done by him, finding Copy on an overextension, and on the back end of that, another kill, buying Fnatic time into this game, if not a small advantage.
And you can see how crucial each individual ability is. That Rocket Grab hits, Oscar is not the one that can clean up the end of the fight.
He's definitely not. Now, Junghoon, getting hit by himself here. Everyone turning onto Razork, and now Astralis feeling themselves after they get another kill, not respecting the fact that he does so much damage. Rocket Slam comes out, good disengage immediately, and then it's all about playing with the range. Reckless is excited, Humanoid is getting the damage down, and then it's just the accelerated Shock Blast at the end of that.
And where does that leave us in terms of gold and kills? 16 to 16, 1,000 gold separates these teams. Remember, each squad
Leaders down
is at a
towards the bottom
5,000
side. He does have
gold
teleport,
lead.
and it will have to be expended here.
Level
Fnatic has
16.
started up the Baron,
Ooh, good ball, teleports come in.
and it's just great. They just bait the TP, now disengage, might even look for play.
Death Sentence lands onto Finn. His counter strike is needed. The prison goes wide. The rocket grab catches onto Razork, and Fnatic are not near. Humanoid's going to be late to the party. Astralis have got the kill. The Nyan Cats are flying forward, and Finn, who was the first target, stuns up too. Reckless, no flash, no ghost. Finn buys some time, but Reckless is split from the rest of the squad. That's a double for leader. Oscarinin will ride the Lantern out, but I think Yonhoon's rocket grab may be up in a moment. And Fnatic started the Baron. Fnatic started the fight, and it's Fnatic that lose it.
They still have the poke though. They can still play around Humanoid with the sigils. They can still play around the accelerated Shock Blast. That's 4 pink wards just dropped around the Baron area. They want to make sure that no one gets vision of this. Now Fnatic still stepping up. Baron almost down to half HP. Leader.
Deathmark is so good. Shadow Slash is out. Oscarinin almost gets 100 to 0. Baron is down to 2,000. Humanoid's looking for Yonghoon, and he gets him with the sigil. But the Baron is secured by Kabi and Astralis. They will happily trade a Blitzcrank's life for a Baron buff.
And this Baron is just the same story as the earlier one was. Fnatic looking for a fight. It looks good initially, but then the overextension comes through. Razork ultimate, go wide, right into a Blitzcrank hook, and at this point in time, games, or rather fight, already over for Fnatic.
Fantastic play. I mean, look, as this fight continues to play out, Astralis get their second Baron, but Fnatic fended off the first. Can they keep doing that? Can they balance out that gold lead once more? Because it feels harder and harder as the game goes on.
Yeah, most certainly. I think they still have the tools for it, but they need to be very meticulous about it. For Astralis, need to take a breather as well, not overforce it. It has been a very tense game. Communication can get a bit messed up at this point in time. With this Baron buff, need to have a good plan of what their next game plan will be. And for now, it looks like they want to set up the play around Drake.
Gulborg, the most amount of kills in a single game this spring split was 45. And
That's
across
a lot.
both teams. We are currently at 35 this game.
Leader
And
force a
I
flash.
will not accept this game ending unless we break that record, okay? There's no ways I can tell the teams this, but that's what I want to see. And it looks like Fnatic may want it too. 3
Looks
seconds
like
for the
they're hearing
Drake.
you.
Razork is going to jump, trying to back up Humanoid, who is the target. Kobe will drop him. Remember, Razork started that fight, went all the way forward throughout the prison. Astralis have the answer. Now they're in the river. They have to deal with the poke, but it does look like they have control. How bold are Fnatic feeling?
Yeah, look at Finn around here. He's sleeping around the area. He does have a pink board if he wants to flank, but he's actually just looking at the bottom, inhibit the turret. Seeing as Oscarinin goes back to defend it, he drops that plan and they get to Drake and they can set up for their next siege if they would like to. Looks like they need a reset after that skirmish.
Can I just ask him to zoom out and look at the scoreboard here? 113's 2-6-15. So he's involved in 17 of the team's 19 kills. Jonghoon, 0-4-16. 16 of his team's 19 kills. And there's 15 follow-up there from Kobe. The game has really been played around that trio. Obviously, Finn and Lead have been playing the side lane, so they're less involved. But almost everything kind of starts and ends with the Maokai, the Xayah, the Blitz. 1-on-3 Kobe and Jonghoon, and they're having a phenomenal performance, which is why their team is still maintaining control. They're 4 minutes away from the Mountain Soul. You combine that with Jax, the ultimate, Maokai and Blitz, and
Oscar,
good position to be in.
collapsed on here. You do have teleport. You have no flash. Yonghoon coming for the long flank. Leader just across. Have you overstepped? You're welcome.
Looks to be the case. Deathmark, all the shurikens fly. Rocket grab may not even be needed. So Oscarinin is just chunked out. That is not your lane. That is not your rift. And that means Astralis now have a man advantage with Baron for another 10 seconds. So I think they'll just about time out as they hit the inhibitor turrets.
Yeah, the thought process of Oscar there was, let me push out this wave as long as possible, just so I can buy my team more time, more space. Unfortunately, goes for one wave too deep, and Astralis is quite quickly there to punish it. Now in a 4 versus 5 situation, how do they want to play it? Leader still has teleport, so he's up towards the top side, answering a wave. Humanoid just pushed in. 4 members down towards the bottom. Versus 5, now the Humanoids are joined. Jungwon looking for the hook, doesn't find it.
This is so well done by Astralis. Leader's going to catch and push the top wave. The inhibitor's broken. That teleport has been with him for a while. He's got a 40 CS lead, a 3,500 gold lead. He's got a 2-level advantage over Humanoid. And despite Humanoid being 5-0 to start this game, Astralis have found the skirmishes and the side lane pressure to enable and unlock this Zed, who is now looking to get the damage down. Deathmark, without a lot of follow-up, almost all was needed to kill Humanoid. The flash forward, the ethereal change, the backup from Fnatic. Leader will get taken out by the Super Mega Death Rocket. 38 kills. We're 7 away from tying, 8 away from setting the kill record in Spring Splits.
Yeah, tense between Humanoid and Leader there. As you can see, as soon as Humanoid goes in there and he gets ulted, he eats behind him because no matter what, Zed will always come behind you. That's why Leader is pressing his W as soon as possible so he'll not get hit by the chains. And if those triple shurikens would have hit Humanoid, he would have probably gone down. But Humanoid feeling himself this game, just flashing forward and reckless. Super Mega Death Rocket. That's our game.
Oh, what a great animation.
Oh, he has a face? I've never seen that.
What do you mean he has a face? He has a face!
It's like a metal
You
helmet.
are one of the smartest people I know in League of Legends. And the statement when you see that is, he has a face. What did you think
I've
was
never
under
seen
the mask?
that. I don't know, shadows? I don't know.
My word.
Some hidden dark pact he made. You gave up your flesh, you know. Okay, whatever, back to the game.
Leader's face is plastered all over the kill scoreboard. 7, 4, and 5. Him and the rest of Astralis looking to close this out. So they've got control of the Rift. They've got supers in the bottom lane. A minute to Baron, 2 minutes to the Mountain Soul. And a pool 1 confirmed seed if they pick up this win against Fnatic.
And I just can't believe we are actually going to come down to a soul fight. Like when we started out the game, how late it all came.
15 minutes, the latest first dragon.
It is definitely going to be interesting. Finn pushing pressure on the top side. Astralis trying to facilitate that with some vision. And not only that, also some of the saplings just aid that with the pressure that Finn just put in top side. It's going to have to be responded by some of the solo laners. And when that happens and Astralis comes on reset, that's where they start clearing out the vision around Drake.
God, I hate cats. Both that one and real life. I will say though, look at the item differences as we're setting up for this final fight. A full item ahead for Kobe still, and a 2,000 gold lead. Full item ahead for Leader still. So the damage disparity for the major carries in favor of the bottom. However, Oscarinin is obviously significantly ahead of his opposite number. So those accelerated shock lasts need time to set up. I just don't think Fnatic have the vision or the time to get away from the Maokai, the Jax, the Zed that will be jumping in their faces.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult now. Even Astralis, knowing that there's no blue trinket, Reckless also just used his ultimate to get it. They're just going to start up the Baron. The Feather's going to do a shot on the Baron if he wants to call them down. Another hook from Young Hoon.
It was beautiful, and it's going to be enough to pick up Resort. Oscarinin will be the next target as Leaders jumped in, looking for another Evian by some time with the death sentence, but it simply does not matter. Astralis find 3 quick kills at 42 in the game, an exposed base, and they're going to push for the Nexus. They're going to push for that pool 1 seed.
They're going to look for it now, pushing in down towards the super minions here. Got 2 of them coming. Humanoid still around. Reckless looking for that recall. 2 versus 5. Don't think this is going to be the one where they get the base-to-face pop in. Humanoid still getting attacked on by Leader and Finn.
Fnatic's 4-game winning streak is about to be drawn to a close, but it was enough to get them to groups.
Hoon.
And Astralis will send a message that the new kids in town are to be feared, to be respected, and not to be doubted. And for the regular season, your second seed will be Astralis.
You may not like it, but this is what